It was a dark and stormy night in Helwan. The streets were empty, and the only sound that could be heard was the pouring rain on the sidewalk. But in the heart of the city, Helwan's morgue stood silent and ominously. The morgue has a long history of terrorizing the people of Helwan. Many have claimed to have seen ghosts roaming its halls, heard strange voices coming from its depths, and even felt a frightening presence when passing through its doors. But despite the fear he instilled in the people, the morgue remained open, its operations shrouded in secrecy. One night, a group of teenagers venture out into the morgue. They crept into the building through the window, their hearts racing with excitement and fear. The air inside was cold and musty, and the stench of death was overwhelming. Flickering lights cast eerie shadows on the walls, and the sound of falling water reverberated through the halls. As they made their way through the morgue, they heard strange whispers and moans coming from the autopsy room. The door creaked open, revealing a bone-chilling scene. The bodies of the dead were piled on the tables, their eyes open and staring, their limbs twisted into unnatural positions. Suddenly, the lights flickered on and off, plunging the room into pitch darkness. The teens panicked, tripping over dead bodies as they tried to find their way out. But then they heard something even more terrifying, the sound of footsteps getting closer and closer. They ran blindly, their hearts pounding in their chests. But as they approached the exit, they were met with a sight that would haunt them for the rest of their lives. A ghostly figure stood in their way, its eyes glowing with an otherworldly light. His skin was pale and cold, and his mouth was curled into a hideous smile. The teens screamed in terror, but the ghostly figure remained unmoved. He spoke in a fearful voice, telling them that they had crossed the Holy Land, and that they would never leave the morgue alive. They ran, stumbling out of the building and into the pouring rain, their bodies trembling with fear. Since that night, the residents of Helwan have avoided the morgue at all costs. But they couldn't ignore the voices that came from within, the moans, whispers, and screams that filled the night air. Some claimed they could see the ghostly figures of the deceased roaming the streets looking for their next victim. Helwan Morgue remained a place of horror and mystery, its secrets hidden behind its doors. And the fear he instilled in people's hearts never faded, lingering like a ghostly presence in the night.